Hi, everybody. I'm Timothy Mitchell, the Practical Printer. For many of you, you are heading out to ISA this week. It starts on Wednesday and it goes all the way to Friday. Now, one of the vendors that's going to be at ISA, which is they're usually at every show, is ONYX RIP, ONYX Digital Production RIP. And I have somebody here from ONYX to talk about a very cool new product that they have. This is Calvin Tuttle. Calvin, welcome to the Practical Printer.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Always glad to have somebody from ONYX here. So here's the thing. You guys normally are known for the RIP software. That's what everyone knows. ONYX 25, I think, is what you're on right now. Or soon to be maybe 26, because it kind of follows the years generally. Not
Yeah,
always. Not always. Sometimes
here
it
and
skips
there.
a year. All right. So you're in charge of a product that ONYX has introduced, which I like a lot, and it's called Align, ONYX Align. And it's a vertically integrated product that can complement your existing ONYX software very well, but it also stands alone if you do in fact use other software RIPs, or in many cases, some shops will use multiple RIPs. They might have different RIPs to do different things. Tell me a little bit about Align, what it does and who it's for.
Yeah, sure thing. So ONYX Align, it is an end-to-end order management system designed and built specifically for large format print shops. And it's meant to be a solution that is for shops that are in the smaller to medium-sized range that
Okay.
don't have a fully fledged system, and they're just wanting to kind of get started with, advancing their tracking of keeping track of orders, getting estimates out, so on and so forth.
Okay. So ONYX Align will allow you to do estimates, which I
Yes.
think there's a couple of things I find with small to medium sized print shops. One, they're often very busy. Two,
Yep.
they're chaotic. Three, even if they want to introduce something, frequently it doesn't happen because the time it takes to introduce it interferes with their productivity. And they tend to say, look, I can't be down for a week. I can't introduce this complex software.
Yeah.
Is it possible to bring Align online in a way that's almost calculated where, look, we're going to bring this part of it. Let me add one other thing to what I said earlier. What I do find also in all those smaller to medium sized centers is they're not really clear what things cost, and they're not really clear. They tend to be pricing based upon what they think the market is pricing, but without an awareness of what their costs are. And I'm always a little concerned that they're pricing themselves too low in the long run, and they're going to run into financial troubles that, yeah, we're busy. Yeah, we have a lot of jobs go out the door, but we don't really know what the cost of things are. We're pricing what we think the market wants, and so therefore we're not really sure if we're making money. We're not sure what the owner's profitability is. And it may not manifest initially, but over time, that problem is going to become acute.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and that's going to affect your cash flow and a lot of other things. Can Align solve those problems? Particularly, could it be brought online in a way where, hey, I brought in these parts of it and we integrated that quickly and that's made a big difference. Now let's introduce another part or another part so they don't have to just stop operations.
Oh, yep. 100%. And really what you're describing there of how, let's say you have a current shop who's trying to base their pricing off of current market trends. Even that is ahead of the curve of what we've found a lot of shops are doing. And that is where they're just pricing based off of, oh, it's what Bob has said we're going to charge for the past, 30 years. Right. And it's kind of taking into account no no factor of what the actual costs are that go into production. And that's where ONYX Align really has seen to transform businesses and their pricing strategies. Is now you're starting to question that $3.50 a square foot for a banner of why am I really charging that? Because if I plug in my cost, which is pretty simple and straightforward to do, you can now start to see that maybe your costs are $3 a square foot for that banner. If
Right,
you're charging only 350, you're going to be in trouble.
right,
And to answer your other kind of question is you can 100% take a kind of a bite-sized chunk approach to onboarding and getting set up with ONYX Line. And that's honestly what we recommend is, the classic saying of how do you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. And that's the same approach you want to take to really adopting any software in your business. And ONYX Align allows you to do so very well is you can start with your costs, graduate to your pricing, establish your jobs, establish your products one by one or all at a time, and then move into the order management workflows, so on and so forth.
Good. Good. That's really good to know. I think that's an important one, knowing what things cost, knowing how much money you're making, knowing what your profitability is, absolutely critical things to the functioning from the business end.
Yep.
So like I said, I have a suspicion there's a lot of very busy sign shops in America who may or may not be making any meaningful amounts of money. And ultimately, if you're in business to make money.
Yep.
And you have to make a profit. Otherwise, it's not a going concern. And then the second is, if you do have a busy center, you don't want to turn away jobs, but can we integrate this understanding of our profit margins through a tool like Align without interrupting things, little by little, piece by piece?
Yep. No,
Yes.
that's exactly right.
All right. We don't have time to go into the whole thing because I want to mostly just introduce it, mention that you'll be at the show. I'm going to be in your booth, I think, at 2 o'clock on Wednesday, 2 in the afternoon. We're going to chat again. We've done this in the past. We're going to chat again about Align because I think it's a great piece of software, especially for a lot of the small and medium-sized businesses that aren't really using anything. They don't have a system yet,
Yep.
and they need to have one. And from what I understand, it does in fact work with, this is a standalone product that will work well if you had another RIP, say SAI Flexi or Brasterlink or Caldera or something else. You can utilize these properties with third-party software.
Yep, because first and foremost, ONYX Align's main purpose is to help any print shop keep track of their orders and manage their work, regardless of the printer, the RIP, whatever it is that you're using. Now, an added bonus is that if you are a part of the ONYX ecosystem with your RIP software, it does pair up nicely with it so that it can communicate it with it, talk to it, so on and so forth.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic to hear. Anything else you want to add about, like, what's your booth number?
Let me go ahead and...
I got it, 2941.
2941. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry to spring it on you. I figured I'd have it handy in case, I'm good to remember one thing.
Biggest thing that I would just like to call out is that we're going to have, full team at the booth, excited to showcase ONYX Align. We're going to be talking a lot about it. We're going to be showing it off. If you stop by the booth, you can get a full one-on-one demonstration of the product and its capabilities. We offer our obviously specials and promotions if you meet with us at the show. So we're really excited.
Fantastic. Yeah, going to the show is where you get your deals.
Yeah.
And that's why you go. You go to the show to get a good rate and to get a good deal and to see everything, with the team in action. So I'll see you there. Congratulations on ONYX Align. I think it's a necessary and very, very important piece that you've added to the digital printing workflow. And I wish you all the luck in the world. See you there.
Good. Well, thank you so much, Timothy.
Of course.
Okay.